Okay, welcome to the Beginning Prayer Book Hebrew. And this is a series that I have been doing where I use a variety of materials from the EKS Publishing website. That website can be found at this address. Up here, www.ekspublishing.com. All right, and so you go to your categories and you will see Biblical or Prayer Book Hebrew. And so we have been doing these classes from this particular book, Prayer Book Hebrew, the Easy Way, book only. And also we are doing some of these comic books, which have a lot of the Prayer Book Hebrew in them, grammar and so on, mostly vocabulary. But I think tonight what we're going to do is we're going to continue on with OgTheTerrible. And I happen to have a copy that's not found on their website. This is it's a much older copy, and I don't know if they need to reprint it or what they need to do. But what I have been doing, if you have seen the first OgTheTerrible video, is I have been tracing out each vocabulary word 3 times and speaking them as I trace them out, and also giving you the letters and the vowel pointing. The vowel pointing in Hebrew we call the nikud. And in this way, we begin to build up an understanding of Hebrew. Now, if you don't know anything about Hebrew, I would recommend that you go to my video at my YouTube channel, and you can get there by going to theahad.net. And in order to do that, then what you do is you go to this website here, and you go www.theahad.net. Okay, and you will see me listed here under the teachers. And so there I am. And on my YouTube channel, the one that you're going to want to pay attention to and really focus on is this one here, Hebrew 1 Beginning. Okay, that is the one that you're going to need to do some practicing with in order to move ahead in some of these other classes. So this one here, Hebrew 1 Beginning. There it is. It's a little bit of a messy line, but you get the idea. So this one. So look for Hebrew 1 Beginning. That is the alphabet. Okay? And once you get the alphabet down and the vowel pointings, you will be ready to progress to some of these other studies from these materials that we're using. Okay, so with all of that, let us continue with OgTheTerrible. And remember, last time when we did OgTheTerrible, we did this sort of a review here. Og is about this dragon, and he is up to no good, if you recall. And we learned that he was after something. And whereas most people, if they're up to no good, they might be after gold. Well, Og wasn't interested in gold. Or maybe people who are up to no good might be interested in taking other people's money. Well, Og was not interested in that either. And he wasn't even interested in kidnapping sons and daughters. Not at all. Wasn't even interested in any other possessions you could think of. But OgTheTerrible, he was very much interested in stealing the Torah, the very words that we have been given from heaven in order to understand the will of our Heavenly Father. And so this then is a crime that is even worse than stealing possessions, because when you steal the Torah, then you basically steal the lifeblood of the community of the Commonwealth of Israel. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue on learning about this dastardly character by the name of Og. And so, as we have done before, let's go down to our vocabulary and see some of these words that we're going to be looking at. Now, the ones that I have already written out for you, we're not going to do those again, but I'm not going to write them out. Well, we'll write the new ones out, okay, in order to be abbreviated. So this one here, ani, okay, we know that that means I. And if you watch the first video, you'll see me write that out and give you the letters and so on. But let's go to this one. We haven't looked at this one yet. Ba derech, on the road. Okay, so with that, we would start out with a bet. Okay, and we give it a dagesh to give it the B sound. We would put a patach underneath it, and we put a dalet next to it. We'll throw a dagesh in the dalet, a segol, ba de, and we need a resh now with a segol, ba de re, and it ends with something we call haf sofit, and that shava there closes the word off. Ba derech, okay, ba D-E-R-E-C-H, and it means on the road. So let's put our bet in here now. Patach, dalet, resh, and haf sofit. Okay, one more time. Bet, patach, dalet, segol, resh, segol, haf sofit, baderech, on the road. Now, go ahead and write that out on a piece of paper, and you may wish to do this about 12 different times so that you have the retention and the memory. But I'm just sort of giving you 3 of these for each word so that you can know how to write these letters and so on, and you can follow the writing strokes that I'm doing with this electronic pen. So let's look at this one here, the word el. Okay, so then with el, we would have an aleph and a lamed, and under the aleph we would have segul. Okay, el. Okay, meaning two. Two, it's a preposition. Let's try it again. Aleph with segul and lamed. El. Now remember, this is different from El, which means mighty one. So don't get this confused with a completely different word. El, which means the mighty one, or it's an abbreviated form of God. Okay, so that's not what we're writing here. We are using segol. Notice segol under el, meaning two. Then we have this word here, or actually 2 words together. It's pronounced bayit or bait. Actually, I think is better. Bait ha tefillah. Bait ha tefillah. Okay, so let me write this out for you. We start out with a bet. We put a dagesh in there. And we're using a sareh yod combination. Ends with tav. Okay, B-E-I-T. And now we have ha tefillah. Okay, the ha, the hey with the patach, the tav, dagesh in the tav, shava. Okay, and we have a fe with a hirik a lamed, okay, put a dagesh in the lamed, kametz, hey, beit tefillah, beit tefillah. Now, something to be aware of here as you're writing these out is that some of these are compounds. There's two words here, obviously, beit tefillah, or house of prayer, but in this case, they translate it as synagogue or temple. Now, the word tefillah can also mean, besides prayer, which is what is commonly translated as by a lot of people, but it also means a place where there's communion, where there's fellowship, and a place where there's study. So then if you distill all of those concepts down, because the word tefillah includes the roots of those three concepts together, they then distill it down to temple or synagogue. So let's write beit tefillah again. We have bet with a saray yod combination, tav, ha tefillah. There's a tav. We'll put a shabbat under there. A fe, hirik, tefi, lamed, kametz, tefi, la. There we go. Beit tefillah. Okay, bet. Saray, yod, tav. And then we have the second word, which is ha tefillah. We have hey, patach, tav, with a shiva. And then we have a fe with a hirik, E sound, lamed, with kametz, so our dagesh in there, and hey, beit tefillah, or synagogue or temple. Okay? Now, let's move on to another one. Now, we've already done egnov, I will steal. So, if you've already written that one out, you should know that one pretty well. Okay, how about this one? We've done this one before, the direct object identifier, et, not translatable. We've done ha-Torah, right? Okay, the teaching. I kind of like the translation in more of a literal sense, the teaching. In fact, I think we as people who are Torah affirming, we are affirming the teaching found in Genesis to Malachi as relevant, something that the church system does not acknowledge. But also, and most critically, we acknowledge the testimony, and that is Yeshua, Messiah, and all of the things that were written about him in the books Matthew to Revelation. So whereas the churches, for the most part, they maintain the testimony and they pretty much ignore the teachings or the Torah found in Genesis to Malachi. On the other side of the spectrum, you have the Jews who acknowledge the Torah found in Genesis to Malachi, but they completely ignore the testimony of the most important individual in our life, and that is Yeshua Messiah. So back to the Torah, I like the idea of the teaching. It actually comes from a root that means to hit the mark, like if you're shooting an arrow at a target and you're hitting the mark. That teaching hits the mark perfectly, doesn't it? And the books Genesis to Malachi. Okay, so then let's move on down to Hayom. Okay, so Hayom means today. We have a hey and a patach. That's how we get the ha. A yod and a dagesh there. Here is a holem. This entire thing is called a holem. Even though there is a vav in there, that's part of the vowel in this case, because it includes what they call a mother of reading vav. And so it is an O sound. Okay, so far we have ha, yo, and ends with mem, so, feet. Ha, yom. Ha, yom, meaning today. Let's try it again. We have a hey with a patach, a yod. We'll put a dagesh in there to get the ha and the yo, so you got a doubling. And we have the holem, ha-yo, ends with mem savit, ha-yom. One more time. Hey, patach, yod, dagesh, holem, mem sofit, ha-yom. All right, so today. Now, this next one, we know, rach, means only, rock. Resh and kof, rock. Then we have, again, beveit ha tefillah. Beveit ha tefillah. And so it's a little different than this one because we're adding the preposition bet, which means in, with, or on. So this bet right here is a preposition meaning in, with, or on. So then the rest of it looks just like the other one, except, see, these are the two we're looking at, comparing, except that they have removed the dagesh and the bet and turned it into a vet. That is just part of the grammar when you affix a preposition to the word bait, okay? So let's look here, and we'll put this together because I want you to get this word, or two words together, including the preposition. So we'll start with the preposition, okay? And we'll start with a bet, okay? And be, and now in this case, where it might ordinarily be a vet, we're not putting a dagesh in there because of this preposition changes the vowel pointing in the bet and makes it go back or revert back to a vet. So that's why we pronounce it ba, and then after the vet we have a saray and a yod and then a tav. Okay, so ba veit, ba veit. That's what that means. In a house, or in the house, and then ha tefillah stays the same. But we'll write it out here anyway. Hey, patach, tav, okay, fe, hirik, lamed, put a dagesh in there, kametz, hey, beit, beveit ha tefillah. Beveit ha tefillah. That's what that says. Beveit ha tefillah. Let's write it one more time. Okay. We start out with a bet, which is the preposition in this case, be, and this reverts to a vet. Saray, yod, finishes with a tav. Be, veit. Okay, try it one more time. The preposition bet, meaning in, with, or on, and then we start the word that means house, right? And this changes to a vet. We have a saray yod combination and tav. Beveit. Okay, and then ha tefillah. You guys have seen that previously. All right, so now let's go down to this one here. And believe it or not, this is not a real Hebrew word. It's expression that would be the same in English if you were to say aha, as if you were just discovering something. Aha, that's really what that is. Okay, aha. So we start out with, let's clear that. We'll start out with a aleph, a patach, hey, patach, and we have hey equals aha, aha. Okay, so I'll just do that one time because that is just an exclamation that is not a real Hebrew word, but they are putting it into the sound and using the letters, the phonetic of Hebrew to write it out. Now this last one is hine, hine, okay? And it means here is. So let's start out with a hey, okay? With a hirik, that's how we get he. And then we have a noon, there's a dagesh in there, and a saray. So now we've got he ne, and it ends with a hey to give it that breathing sound. He ne, okay? H-I-N, let's see how I can do this. He, E-A-Y-H maybe? H-I-N-A-Y-H, hine, hine, okay? Hey, hirik, noon, saray, hey, hine. I'll do it one more time. Hey, hirik. My noon is a little sloppy in the last one. A little harder to write with an electronic pen than it is with a regular pen, believe it or not. It's taken some practice for me to get somewhat proficient, although it looks a bit like a grade schooler's writing. But we're doing the best we can to show you how to write these letters and give you the vowel pointings as well. So we have hine, here is. Okay, so now let's follow our story and see what we have. All right, so remember, Og the Terrible did not want gold, he did not want silver or money, he didn't want to steal sons or daughters, and he did not want to steal just things. What did he want to steal? He wanted to steal the most essential element to the character, to the moral foundation of our community, the Torah. So let's see what else he has to do on this little journey he does to do evil. Okay, so here we go. Here's Og speaking again. Ani baderek el beit ha-tefillah. Ani, I am on the road, baderech, on the road, to, el is to beit, ha-tefillah. Ani baderech el beit ha-tefillah. I am on the road to the house of prayer, or temple, or synagogue. All right, let's see what this rascal else is up to. Ani egnov et ha-Torah hayom. And we know ani means I will steal, egnov, I will steal, et. What is he going to steal? The object identifier. Well, we look here. He's stealing the Torah, ha-Torah. And when is he going to steal it? Here it is, hayom. He's going to steal the Torah today. He's in a rush. Let's move on down. Okay, see what else he's up to. And here is Og coming in through a bridge, it looks like. I don't know how he even fits through that little hole, but here is what he's saying. Ha-Torah rach baveit ha-tefillah. Here it is again. Ha-Torah rach baveit ha-tefillah. Okay, so what is he saying? The Torah only is in the house of prayer or temple or synagogue. The Torah is only there. But we know as believers also that if we study the word even in our homes, it resides in our hearts, doesn't it? But for the purposes of this story, Og knows where to go to get the Torah. Let's go on down now and see what else this rascal is up to. So here is Og again, and he is exclaiming, Aha! Hine Beit HaTefilah. So what does he find? Right there, the house of prayer or the temple. The house or the temple. Okay, aha, the exclamation. Hine, here is Beit HaTefilah. Here is the house of prayer or the temple. Okay, I'm so used to translating tefillah as prayer that I need to make sure that I explain to you that the word really, in a more deeper sense, includes the roots. Yes, prayer's in there, community's in there, and teaching is in there. Okay, and really, to be honest with you, when we meet in our homes and we study Torah and we study the testimony found in Matthew to Revelation, we study all of that. We're getting the full gospel, and we are communing. We are praying together, and we are studying together in order to honor our Father above. So here is Og. He says, aha, here is the house of or the temple, the house of prayer or the temple or the synagogue. Okay. All right. Let's move on down and see what else Og is up to. Well, this is a pretty easy one here because this is another one of those sound effects. So here he is. He's banging on the door of the house of prayer. Here it is. And in order to sound these out, let's see what we've got here. We've got a kof with a patak, ka, and a bet, ka, b. And here, look at all of these shurik. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ends with a mem safit. Kaboom. It's a sound effect, isn't it? Kaboom. All right. Kof. We have a patak. Ka. Bet. Look at all these shuriks. Remember, this is not a real Hebrew word. This is a sound effect that is in Hebrew. So there we go. Mem sofit ka boom. Banging on that door. All right. Let's move on down and see what these other sound effects are. Now here's a different one. They have changed it up a little bit in the sound effects. We've got kof with patak, and then we have a zayin, and we have shurik, 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 shurik. U sound ends with mem sofit. So we have kazum, kazum. So let's write that out. We have our kof with our patak ka, and here is our zayin, and shurik, 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 shurik. So ooh, 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 ooh sound, mem sofit, ka, zoom, kaboom, kazoom. Uh-oh, what's this one? Kabosh. All of these sounds of him banging on this door, trying to break it down to the house of prayer. All right. And isn't that the way the devil is? He likes to break down the doors if he can. If he can get into an assembly, if he can get into a group and sow division, he has done his job, because the Torah brings unity. The Spirit of Messiah brings unity. But if Og the Terrible, which is patterned after the devil, can get in and break down the doors, break down the barriers of fellowship, break down the barriers of love and kindness and brotherly affection and sisterly affection one unto another, he's done his job. He's stolen the essence of the Torah, which brings community and unity and oneness of the Ruach HaKodesh, if it's done properly and lovingly. So let's look at this last one here. We have kabash. So we start out with a kof, batach, a bet with a kametz under it, ka-ba, and look at all of these sheens, a bunch of them here. Very emphatic, emphasis. Ka-bash. Okay, so here is Og the Terrible trying to break this door to the house of prayer down. Kaboom. There it is. Kaboom. Kazoom. Kabosh. Okay. Let's see what else he's up to. Okay, so now here he is. He has made it through the door to the house of prayer or the temple or your home, wherever you worship and you commune and you pray together. And let's see what he has to say. So let's go down to our vocabulary now and see what we have for you guys to learn. So the first word we see down here is zot. Okay, and it means this, but notice that it's feminine singular. So remember that in Hebrew, it's very gender specific. There are words that translate the same way, but they either are a word that means the feminine form of this, and there is also a masculine form of this as well, and you can learn about that in our prayer book Hebrew. But let's look at this one here. We have a zayin with a holem. Notice that dot there is a holem, zo, and we put an aleph in here. Remember, aleph is one of the silent letters, so it's right. So far, it's zo, reading from right to left, and ends with a tav. Zot. Zot. Okay, let's try it again. A zayin, that's kind of a poor zayin. Hopefully you'll do better on your paper. And here is a tav. Zot. Let's do another one. Zayin. Aleph. Oh, we got to put our whole M there on the zayin. Tav. Zot. So it means this. This. Okay. All right, let's go to this one here. We have ha menorah. Ha menorah. Well, a lot of you will recognize the word menorah, won't you? It's that 7-branched candelabra. But in this case, look at the picture. This is interesting. How many do we count? We know that a menorah is 7, right? So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now that one's not counted in this example, but you've got 4 here, 4 here. So really it's a Hanukkah, but it's also known in the general sense as a menorah in Hebraic Jewish culture. Even though many of us there may be some out here listening to these videos that might not even keep Hanukkah. If that's your conviction, so be it. But the menorah itself is very much symbolic of things in the heavenlies. Most particular, the 7-branched one is symbolic of the 7 spirits of the Almighty. And we know that his ministers are like flames of fire. So isn't that something? The flames of fire on 7 of these tines on the menorah representative of the 7 spirits that are before the throne of the Almighty. We read about that in Revelation. And also the Apostle Paul talks about that, about associating those spirits with particular character traits. And if you guys have questions about that, I can elucidate that a little bit for you. But here's the menorah. Here is the menorah. And let me clear this here and bring this down again to where we are. Ha-menorah. Okay, so let's look at this here. We start out with a hey, a patach. And now we have a mem with a dagesh. Ha-ma-noon. Okay, with a holem. A resh with a kametz. Menorah ends with hey to give it that breathing. Ha-menorah. Okay. Let's hear that again. We'll do it one more time. A couple more times here. Hey with patak. Mem. Dagesh the mem. We have a shava. Noon. A holem gives it the O sound. Meno resh kametz hey. Ha menorah. Ha menorah. One more time. Hey patak mem noon holem resh kametz hey. Ha menorah. Okay, so we've got zot, we've got ha menorah. Now let's look at this one. Here is the male equivalent of this. Okay, zeh. So we start out with a zayin, and we put a segol under there to get the zeh sound, and we end with this hey, so we get the breathing out. Zeh. Okay, Z-E-H, zeh. Let's try it again. We've got a zayin, a segol, and a hey, zeh. A zayin, okay, a segol ends with a hey, zeh. All right, let's look at this one here. 2 words together. Ner tamid. Ner tamid. Interesting. Okay, so let's start out with the ner word. We start out with a noon and a saray and a resh. Ner, or lamp. It's a good translation, is lamp. Ner tamid. Here is the tav for tamid. We have a tav with a kametz, and we have a mem, or not a sosit, but just a regular mem, hirik, yod, dalet, ner tamid. Ner tamid. Lamp, and this tamid means a continuity, perpetuity, continuing. So it's like burning continually. And what they're talking about here, and let me do it one more time for you here. A noon with a saray, resh, ner, and a tav, okay, kametz, mem, hirik, yod, dalet, okay, ner tamid. Okay, one more time. Saray, noon, saray, resh, that's our ner. Tav, kametz, okay, hirik, yod, we get the E sound, dalet, ner tamid. Okay, so lamp of perpetuity, okay, or an eternal light. Look at how they translate it. Okay, so let's look at what that looks like. So here it is. Here is this lamp right here. And he's banging it around, but he's making quite a mess in this house of prayer. Okay, Let's look down here again. We have this word here. Ela means these, and R is just kind of included. They're adding these extra words in there to make it sound better in English. But this word Ela. Okay, so let's use our Aleph, Zareh, Lamed. We get the S sound with Zgol, Ela, Aleph, Zareh, get the AY sound in Zareh, Lamed, Segol, the F sound ends with Hey. Okay. Aleph, Zareh, Lamed, Segol, Hey. Ele, these. Okay, now here, look at this big word here. Ha-sidorim. Ha-sidorim. Okay, now it comes from sidor, which means to order. It's the order of service. And so many times in more of the traditional Torah affirming groups, they would have a book along with the Torah that they would study during study time, but the sidor would include the liturgy. Now in the Yahad, we have a very good sidor. We have a good order of service. And if you would like to experience that, come on Zoom, go to the website, come on Zoom and look up the Shabbat service. It's at 11 a.m. every Shabbat. Bishop Regesh, governor, elder governor, and there are others who take part, and then they switch back and forth learning this canting, learning the order of service in this Siddur. So this is another thing that Og the Terrible is trying to, he's throwing things around looking for something. And we know he's looking for the Torah. So let's clear this out and let's write this here. And this will be the last one here for this lesson today. We'll complete this. We have a Hey with a Patach and a Samech. Samek. Look at that. It's kind of a bull character. Dalet. That Dalet's a little poor. Resh. Oops. Wait a minute here. We made a mistake here, didn't we? Ha, si, Dalet, and we have a Shurik to get the U sound. Du, Resh, we got a Resh R sound. Hirik, Yod, that's where we get our E sound, ends with Mem Sofit. Ha, Sidorim. Ha, Sidorim. All right, let's try it one more time. We've got the Hey with the Ptak. We've got the Samech. E sound is Hirik. Dalet. A Shurik. Get the U sound. Du. Resh. Hirik. Yod. Ha-si-du-ri. Ends with Mem. Sofit. Ha-si-dorim. One more time. Hey. Patach. Samech. Hirik. Dalet. Shurik. Resh. Hirik. Yod. We get the E sound there. Ha. Sidorim. Okay. So now that we have all of our vocabulary learned, and some of you may be wondering, why do I labor like this, going step to step, every little step, and I'm writing this out for you, and the purpose is to promote so that children, perhaps your children could join and watch these and also get a neat story out of it that also has a moral, a meaning to it. There's a moral to this story. And so you're teaching your children Hebrew and you're teaching them how to write, and you're right there with them. What a great activity for a family to do. And with all of that being said, now that we know our vocabulary for this, so remember, up here, he's banging on the door, Og the Terrible, kaboom, kazoom, kabosh. He's gotten in, he's broken in. Okay, so now he's rolling around in there like a dragon in a china shop. And here it is, Zot ha-menorah. So notice he bangs it apart with his tail, or he knocks it off. He's just kind of doing violence to the place. Zot ha-menorah. This is the menorah. That's not what he's looking for. Let's move on down. Here it is. Zeh ner tamid. This lamp perpetuity. This is the eternal light. Now, they include this because in the synagogues they have this lamp and they keep it lit 24/7 to remind the people of the eternal light that was lit in the temple times. When the temple was still standing, the menorah was continually burning 24/7. Okay. And so that is the house of Judah, how they remind themselves of that. Okay, so here we go. Look at this table he's going under and just knocking it everywhere. Here he is. Ela ha-sidorim. Ela ha-sidorim. These. Notice there's more than one, so that's why we use Ela, not Zot or Zeh. Ela. These are the Sidurims, or the books of order. Okay? All right, so next time, we're going to find out a little more about this rascal, Og the Terrible. And I hope that you will join me. I'm trying to do these about 35, at most 40-minute increments, and so that the kids don't get too tired out or lose interest or so on. But if you have any other ideas about how we can improve it, by all means, send me an email. And you can always, of course, go to the website and let's see here. You can go to the Hot International, go to Gregory Smith, and there is my profile that comes up here. And down at the bottom, here is my email, Yahad Greenwood. Okay, and there's my phone number. Send me a text, give me a call. I'm happy to also do Hebrew studies in small groups if you like. Sometimes I meet at the library. But this is neat because you can actually see every little writing. You can see what I'm talking about. It's hard to take a finger and point on a page sometimes. Some of the writing is small, but we can really show you what we're doing here with the Hebrew, with this system. And it's worked very well. Okay, so with all of that, I want to wish you a wonderful evening, and I'm hoping we will get some comments from some of you who are out there watching. I know there's people watching these videos because just the alphabet had 34 hits, or 30, it was over 30. Can't remember exact, but it was over 30. It was 30 some. And I'm just thrilled with that, because that means that the Commonwealth of Israel, the people out there, want to learn this in order to continue the restoration of the fortunes of Jacob and work toward rebuilding the tabernacle of David before the soon and coming return of Messiah Yeshua, to judge the earth and to set up his kingdom on the earth. Again, thank you so much, and may the Almighty bless you.